see me in the streets, holla at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Let's go. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Y'all see the topic of the day. Let's go, man. How y'all feeling today, man? Welcome to this glorious Monday, man. Marvelous Monday. Here on the Coach Smook Network, tapping in. Listen, we are starting a new format. This is the week that we kick off our schedule. We're going to do our scheduled shows every day this week. The format is a little different. It's just a little different, but we're going to start it off the right way. Jumping on the Coach Smook Network, your boy got his note cards today. We're going to try to stick to the schedule as much as possible. And we're directing our noon lives to basically turn into our topic of the day discussions. We're going to try to give ourselves 45 minutes to an hour synopsis to review the previous days or recent news in college athletics or amateur athletics or pro athletics. It doesn't matter. We're introducing the hot topics of the day, of the week, or however you may want to see it. And we're creating conversations around them. And then on our Monday and Friday night shows, we're going to be opening up the call-in lines to create discussions around them. But to keep the channel content flowing, we're definitely going to continue to do these. I've been having a lot of these conversations offline as I did my trying to do like this social media mental cleanse, get my mind back focused on, you know, the big objectives we have coming up this year on the Coach Smook Network, getting the team solidified and put together and getting everybody in their lanes and operating effectively. So this is the new direction, and I hope you all enjoy it. So if you're here today and you're enjoying it, please drop a like on the stream, share it as you come in. If you're watching this stream post live, make sure you share this and share it on somebody's content. Let everybody know that Coach Smook Network, we're not just covering Bama football. We're getting our hands all across the SEC, all across the nation, all across sports in general. We're making the right connections and we're doing the right things to get our name out there. So appreciate y'all for pulling up. And for all the live viewers here, real quick before we jump into the conversation, definitely want to have this conversation kicked off 10 minutes in so people can know. If you just want to jump to the conversation, go to the 10-minute mark. Go to the 10-minute mark on the show. But we got Zach popping in live here on the noon Coach Smook noon check-in. We're here to talk about it, Zach. We're going to talk about it. Who else we got? We got 5 Adam in the chat. What's up, 5 Adam? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a few weeks. Glad to see you. Mary J, our very own Mary J. Megan is popping in the chat, man. I know it's hard to get y'all in here during the day, y'all, but this is the time where I have just the freedom to go and just kind of talk about what's relevant, not making stuff up, but just making, you know, some good conversation about the relevant things. And then also creating some good conversation about some things to think about, just kind of like we did with Ryan Grubb a few months ago. Here we go. Bama Brother 92 said, Coach Smook, how do I join your team? I'll be at the spring practice wanting to meet up with you. Okay, hit me up, man. Drop in. Contact us either through our direct message, or you can contact us at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, man, and drop in. Let us know what you got going on, and we'll see how this thing go, man. But appreciate you for pulling up to the live stream. If anything, drop a like and share on the stream and get more people in here and let them know why you want to come and join this team and be a part of what this team is doing. Because we're working hard, man. We're doing things the right way. So I appreciate everybody for tapping in, jumping into the conversation, man. Let's get directly into it. Today, we have a topic of conversation that's been across the minds of your panel talking heads for a while now. You're talking about that of the college football playoff. The expansion in itself this year, going to 12 teams, was a huge talk of the town during the offseason. Everybody was nervous. Some people had their thoughts that it would be good. A lot of people thought it was, you know, starting to turn into a participation trophy type deal. And we saw the quality of playoff. I guess you can say the quality of attraction that it brought for the playoffs this year. And because of the automatic bidding and all of that, you saw a lot of discrepancies. And I think that was probably regardless of how the teams played and how the matches fared out, I think the main thing was the automatic bidding and the seeding. When you had teams like Alabama, Ole Miss, some would even say South Carolina, Miami. You had a few Big 10 teams that could have been in there over some of your other teams that were in. So we're going to dive into that conversation and create the, just start diving into the facts of why there's not a possible expansion, but there is actually an expansion happening, not 2025, but 2026. We're going to see a college football playoff expansion. And I want to give a shout out to the gentleman that brought it out, Ross Dillinger, the senior college football reporter for Yahoo Sports. And this guy's been tied in on, with covering college sports, not just on the field, things happening, with coaching changes and all of that. He's tied in everywhere. So we'll dive into that article that he wrote, kind of break it down a little bit. And also shout out to Josh Pate, man. I saw I didn't watch the live, but right before I was getting ready to set up the link to come on live here, I think he has a video out there also kind of diving into this. So I'm kind of interested to see what he had to say about it after I get done with this live. So and I'm just excited to have a conversation with you all today, AAA community. So here, jumping into the show, man. Thank y'all for being here. And let's get into it, man. I'm ready to talk about it. Coach Smook, new check-in, tapping in with y'all. Hey, it's time to get in the game, y'all. Let's have this conversation today. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips, the perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
Not going to take us a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out there over here getting excited. Listen, so jumping into the conversation today, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. And I think I was about to, come in with the heavy hitter word or something. I don't know. It just left my brain. But jumping into the conversation, man, college football playoff, we're talking about another expansion, another college football playoff expansion. Again, yes, again. And with the new, I guess you could say, what they're proposing as far as the committee, the powers to be that are a part of this staff that's making these decisions. This is kind of taking the power away from the committee, making those last 2-week decisions that don't make sense, that have kind of killed the playoff rankings and their narrative of how they're going to select the final teams for the playoffs. Whether it was 4, and even the expansion in 12, we've always, as a collective, as a fan base, whether it favor your team or not, I think we can all collectively come together and say, hey, this is a flawed system, and it's not going to be sustainable as far as keeping the integrity of college football scheduling a focal point. And that's what we got to get back to, making the conference games matter, making the conference championship matter, making the most of your conferences have done away with regions, or we call them regions, West divisions, or divisions and regions. So making the conference games matter, making the where you seed in your conference matter. You shouldn't be a 5-loss team, still be, just because you're the second best team in your conference with 5 losses doesn't mean you're one of the best 12 or 14 teams in the country. So, and now we're talking maybe 16 teams in the playoffs, a 16-team playoff, college football playoff, which I think is going to fare well for just based off the initial proposals. I think we could dive into this conversation and see the benefits of it. And once again, if you're tapping in, don't forget to drop in. Welcome to the show. Like and share the stream, man. Share the stream, share this vibe, because this, after we get done with this live, it'll be taken down and we'll actually post a VOD version of this so that you all can, the live will be up, but we'll actually pull a VOD version of this for content purposes. So diving into the conversation, let's get into this article here. Let me see if I could get it up the right way. Pause. Hopefully that didn't sound weird. Here we go. Last spring, here we go. Now this is from Yahoo Sports, Ross Dellinger. If y'all want to follow Ross on Twitter, where is his tweet at? Ross Dellinger. I want to show y'all the tweet that caught my attention this morning, because And you know what? I also need to get up earlier because my meditation time, I'm missing a lot of early news, by staying focused. And it's not that I'm missing out on anything. It's just I'm getting locked in, and we're sharing this stuff. So here goes Ross Dellinger's tweet yesterday. And Ross Dellinger, he's always got insider information when it comes to the powers to be and the changes that's happening in the major sports, especially in the sports entertainment industry, right? So my sister's sending me pictures. So we got this conversation or these meetings happening, and the SEC and the Big Ten are the two main players in this. We've seen our athletic director, Greg Byrne at the University of Alabama. He's been very vocal about getting the athletic directors and the commissioners involved in solidifying what the college football playoff selection committee can have, the type of weight that they have, and who's going to be a part of that committee. And I think we're seeing the right changes. Coach Saban was kind of leading this charge. He and Victor Cruz went to the Capitol Hill last year after his transition from coaching, and they made the initial NIL pitch, and they kind of alluded to how this would affect the college football playoff, the competitive nature of the playoff scene. Well, when you got guys who aren't having great seasons, they go into week 9 before their team is completed with the season, and they're saying they're going to sit out because they're not going to have a chance at the playoff. Well, this new proposal to expand the playoffs and how they're going to select the teams might create more incentive to keep your quality players and guys that you are seeing or want to see on the field, keeping them on the field and creating opportunities for even more depth usage. Quality of volume of players on the field and the quality of exposure that you can get from this expansion. You're talking about a 16-team playoff. That's maybe adding 16 games for a team that makes it to the finals. 16 total games to the season. You're cutting away possibly 2 what we would call cupcake games on these season, and you're adding meaningful non-conference games, right? 2 powerhouses from you might have an opening weekend like we've seen the classic weekend where you have ACC versus SEC or Big Ten versus SEC. All of these different conference powerhouses playing each other, at least, getting 2 of those matchups in a year, plus your conference schedule, your 7-game conference schedule, right? That's 9 games. And then you get your 1 cupcake game. That's your 10 games. And then your next 3 games should be, either playoff formatted style or play-in wild card style. They should be set up to where those games carry on to the actual national championship. And we're going to talk about the format and the layout of this in this conversation. But let's get into this article by Ross Dellinger. I'm sorry, Mr. Dellinger. Don't want to be mispronouncing names. And once again, welcome to the Coach Smook Network. I'm Smook Hines here on the Coach Smook Network. We doing some big things here. Popping this year off. I thank y'all for being here. Tap in, drop your like, drop the share on the stream, and drop your thoughts in the comments if you're here live. We're going to revisit them after this next little 5-minute splurge. So last spring, during the tense and times heated negotiations over the future of college football playoffs, leaders of the Big Ten and the SEC threatened to create their own postseason system if they were not granted majority of the CFP revenue and full authority over the playoff format. And in the simplest terms, the SEC and the Big Ten said, look, we know we're the powers to be of college football. We attract all the talent. We recruit all the talent. All of your major national championship games, majority of them, I think all but 4 in the past 10 years. I mean, in the past 20 years have been SEC or was, or previously Big 12, but now SEC and Big 10. You look at just the national championship winners, it's been dominated by the SEC. The only teams that have shown up from the ACC were your one-offs, Florida State, Clemson. Nobody else has shown up from either of these conferences and really made a push like your Alabamas, your Georgia, your Ohio State, your Michigan, right? Your LSU came through there. Auburn taps in every random few years. You even have Florida competing. You even have Penn State in the mix. You have just to state the facts. To state the facts, we're talking facts here, right? The SEC and the Big Ten are your powers to be. So in this proposal, as we kind of just skim through the article, if you want to read the article, you can find it on Yahoo Sports. You actually find the tweet. I'm going to retweet it right now. Let me retweet this right now. I'm going to retweet this. As a matter of fact, let's quote it. Live now discussing. what's the expansion mean for SEC and Alabama? All right. Post it. Wait, what's happening? I retweeted it, so we're good. Listen, so jumping into it, let's get back to the article. I was trying to figure out, it's giving me an error like I can't post. In the end, executives of 10 FBS leagues in Notre Dame signed a memorandum of understanding handing control over college football's two richest conferences. Soon, they are expecting to exercise that control. As you all know, at the end of 2024, well, going into the season of 2024, we knew that the SEC and the Big Ten were going to have major pull as far as, you know, dictating how the college football playoff scene was set up. You know, we've been saying this. We even thought, there were panels that I've spoken on. We even spoken to even the SEC and the Big Ten and possibly the Big 12, creating a super league of two major conferences in college football and leaving the NCAA as a whole. This is the NCAA kind of, you know, allowing this to happen so that they can stay relevant, right? This is what this is. And if you look at the major players in these contract negotiations, you look at the SEC, the Big Ten, you look at the TV contracts and everything that's been pushed out the past year and a half, 2 years, since NIL really has taken off. ESPN, the SEC, and the Big Ten. Look at the renewed contracts. I think ESPN and the SEC have a renewed contract all the way through 2032, 2031, something like that. And then you also have the Big Ten expanding into the SEC. I mean, not the SEC, but ESPN really becoming their primary TV network that pushes their. And then you saw the transition from CBS with the SEC. Like, the SEC is really flexing their muscle and transitioning from what we've known it to be for all of my people that was, you know, 90s or before, early 2000s or before. This is the money game taking control of now semi-pro, I guess we could say junior pro athletics at the collegiate level. It used to be amateur, but now that they're getting paid and they're receiving compensation, and there are even laws, we're going to have another conversation about that. There are even laws being established and legislated in different states regarding universities in those states and their NIL compensation outline or parameters. So these conversations are going to be good to have all off season as we continue to find out information. But the playoff format, let's get into this. This is what I wanted y'all to kind of hear. The ideas and the concepts are now are serious. This is what's on the table. Now the highest governing bodies, meaning the Power 5 schools, you got the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the ACC, right? Well, they're now the Power 4 since there's no more Pac-10. And you would have those major conferences will have a certain amount of automatic bids. And then you will have your group of 5, you will have your top ranked group of 5. They will have a certain amount of automatic bids. With this playoff committee, with this setup, this is the format. This is how it will look. The officials describe the 14-team format. And mind you, this could be a 14 or 16-team format. The officials describe this 14-team format as 4-4-2-2, 1+1 model. Meaning 4 teams from the SEC, 4 teams from the Big 10, 2 from the ACC, and 2 from the Big 12, and 1 to the highest group of 5 champion, right? Not just highest rank, but the champion of their conference in the group of 5. You got independent schools like Notre Dame, who would be eligible, the highest ranked non-conference affiliated program, like at Notre Dame, would be the highest rank, would be able to get that +1 spot. So this is kind of setting a precedence for those schools who are those that are operating under independence, not attached to a conference. It's promoting them if they want to get in the playoffs and solidify what their team, their team amongst the rest of college football. They need to join the conference. I've said it for a long time. Notre Dame is the caliber of school They should. I mean, they play Ohio State, they play USC, they play Oregon, they play all these schools. Jump in the Big Ten or jump in the ACC where you have a little bit more of that makeup, that style of play fits your style, what you recruit, how you've been recruiting. And I might have to backpedal on that, for another conversation. Notre Dame has changed up their whole recruiting style and how they recruited in the trenches. And that has kind of been the difference between Notre Dame in recent years compared to what we saw them do against Georgia and the other teams in the playoffs this past season. So you get this setup, you get this format, and I think you start talking about, let's think about it this year. Let me pull up a graphic for y'all to give y'all kind of a visual of what that could have looked like this season. Let me see. Let me do it on this computer because I don't want to reach across there. Final 2024 CFP rankings. Let's see if we can get that graphic. College football playoff rankings. So let's get into this. I like this conversation. So this year, the CFP rankings, not the selection, just the rankings, right? Week 15. It would have been number 1, Oregon would have been in. You know what's crazy? This would have been the perfect setup because if you look at the records, every team that was ranked, these are rankings, not your top, your conference champions, none of that. This would have been perfect for the likes of the Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, and South Carolina situation because now your head-to-heads matter. Now your conference championship game matters. Now your conference record, overall conference record, and point differential, all of those things that really have factored in and decided and what created quality competition in the past, in my opinion, they matter again when you expand it and you give these type of automatic bids. You're talking about your top 4 teams from the SEC, which would have been Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and Alabama with an automatic bid. Having those wins against South Carolina beat Ole Miss. South Carolina loses to Ole Miss. Ole Miss had lost to, I forget who our head-to-head win was over them. So you just start looking at how it could have played out for the SEC alone. And then you get into the Big Ten and you see where teams that shouldn't have been in or, shouldn't have got automatic bids. Now they're playing in a seeding where the format in itself, it plays it out to where the records and how they played in those losses or wins, they get a chance to redeem themselves. Then you got Notre Dame, a team on the outside looking in that's always trending, handling their non-conference schedule as they always do. They might get 1 or 2 top 25 ranked teams. They get the pass for losing to a top 10 team, a top 5 team. You eliminate all of that by expanding and creating these stipulations for, what teams get what spots. Go back to the article. Big 12 commissioner. This is something that I saw. He said Big 12 commissioner Brett Yarmick says his conference has been exploring predictive analysis on what different playoff models will mean for conference participation if applied in the recent history of the postseason. I'll be armed with data. So the things that we speculate as your talking panelists and the talking heads of your content creation world that cover college football, the commissioners of college football, the big money movers, the people that actually make the decisions, they're doing the same thing. And now we're starting to see these conversations come to light. So myself, Marcus Dent, Jason Watkins, we might have George Teague on here. There'll be a panel coming on the Coach Smook Network soon. We'll be doing a collab. And we're going to start breaking down how this really ties into the development of not just how college football playoff plays out, but recruiting is just taking another big leap. The recruiting landscape, there's going to be a wider spread of talent, knowing that there are a possibility of 14 to 16 teams going to be able to be in the playoffs. Now you're going to have a top heavy 30, 32, 34 teams possibly, where your quality talent is just getting spread around, and then other programs actually have time to develop and recruit and receive, get talent passed down for these top 32 teams. And the quality and the balance of college football begins to come back because of this college football playoff format. In my opinion, this format making every game matter again, making week 2, week 3, week 4 matter again. Now, the thing that we got to talk about and kind of dive into as we get into our 30-minute mark, the halfway mark on this show, Meanwhile, the group of 5 leaders are prepared to fight potentially expand upon their one automatic access spot. They feel like they need more. According to comments from the AAC commissioner, Tim Pernetti, to Yahoo Sports, college football is stronger than ever, Pernetti said. As the CFP evolves, we have a responsibility to student athletes. The integrity of the game and our fans, exit out of that. The integrity of our game, where'd it go? Okay, there it is. The integrity of our game, and our fans to build a future that includes expanding access for every conference. And to me, that sounds like, hey, participation trophy style. My thing is this: if your AAC team wants to prove that they're worthy of a college football playoff spot, there are some things that your AAC team must be able to do. One, you have to be able to at least win, not just compete, but win. And schedule preseason rankings somehow or another. You have to be able to schedule a Power 5 team that has recently showcased a track record of being national championship contenders or conference champion contenders. I have yet to see, when have we seen an AAC contender, right, go into the CFP or be considered for the CFP and go in and perform and produce a quality game or produce a quality outcome? I don't think it's happened. If it has, you can quote me. And that's no slight at these teams. It's just a product of the college football game. We have yet to see the talent spread level all the way out. We're seeing it expand because of this expansion. Now, instead of fighting this, AAC commissioner, right? Instead of fighting this, support it, because now you open yourself up for those teams, the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Ohio States and the Tennessees and the Floridas and all the LSUs and the Michigans and the USCs, all the teams that have these stacked rosters with 5 stars, 4 stars, guys that, they're not going to sit 3 years before they start. After their second year, you're getting a quality player possibly coming to your program. Plus, you're already recruiting. Your development curve and your plateau for development has just been raised because of this expansion. That's just one little point. But also your opportunity for exposure by scheduling a top 10 team in week 2 when you're supposed to be the underdog. This is just attraction and exposure, the exact thing that you want. Overall, at the end of the day, it's all about where the money goes, right? And those are some base level things to consider before we start, fighting against the expansion. I think this is a great idea. Looking at the basics of it, while the conferences have agreed to cede decision-making powers on formats to the SEC and Big Ten, there are certain agreed upon guarantees of any future format. The automatic inclusion of 5 highest ranked conference champions, meaning the way that the conference championships are, the conference champions are rewarded an automatic bid, that's still going to be applied in some fashion. Now, this is the discrepancy. We need to outline in wording what that really means. Does a 9-3 conference champion really deserve a first week bye? Right? No, I don't think so. I think going into that conference game should be a playoff game. That conference championship game should be a playoff game. How do we get into this and schedule it to where these season matchups, the last 2 weeks of the season, whether you play your 7 conference games and you replace that conference championship week with another non-conference game, or a conference game that sets you up to say, hey, this is our top 4. You played this team earlier in the season. You got this playoff game against number 1 versus number 4 in the conference, number 2 versus number 3 in the conference. Then you go and show up for your conference championship game. That's your second playoff game. You win that one. You advance from that one. You advance to your regional, right? Regional, whether it's SEC conference champ versus whatever the bid is, whoever gets the bid to host this conference game in Arizona, right? And then whoever gets the bid to host this not conference game, but this playoff game in Arizona, then whoever gets the bid and these 2 teams to host this game in Atlanta, and you start breaking it down like that, I think you starting to trend in the right direction of making the college football playoff be what it's supposed to be, which to me gives you that progressional career mindset, right? That mindset for progressional career growth for your student athletes, because just like the article said, one of the commissioner just said, we're our interest is in the student athlete and their development. So if we're trying to prepare student athletes to be professional athletes, and we're giving them more games, we're giving them incentives to play for, aka money, we're paying them, and they're getting the opportunity to achieve or obtain an education. Make this as close to the NFL as possible. This should be a transitional 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years for our student athletes. And as far as the college football scene is concerned, I think we're onto something with this expansion. I think we really are. Let me see. Get into these comments. Yo, we're running the comments up. I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Let me get back to the comments real quick. Let me see what y'all got to say. Get this back on the screen. What's up, Jason? My brother is in the house. Look, I didn't have the comments up, man. I was over here rolling. ESPN is out there winning. ESPN has really locked it in. And we know that ESPN kind of took a hit with a lot of their staff changes. I think the past 2 or 3 years, we've seen like the lack of trust as far as their analytics and sports entertainment coverage. We see that take a hit, but this is how they rebound. They start capturing the entertainment value of actually projecting the sports by attacking the breadwinner of the sports entertainment industry, which is college football. Hands down, you don't find a wider spread fan base than the college football fan base. So ESPN was smart by getting the power move and getting Walt Disney, all those guys. It would give the ACC a good boost, 100%, especially the quality of product that the ACC has put out in most recent years, man. They start off the first 4 or 5 weeks with like 7 or 8 teams everybody's hype about. And then, the last week of the season, they got one team in the top 12. That's the ACC for you. Why not invite this? Smook, they don't need to be in the conference. They make their money anyway, made $95 million this season. But in order to get them on the stage, Jason, they have to be able to play other teams. They do need the conference. They can make all that money. They can't go and make their own network and people are going to be attracted to it. It doesn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? They go into a conference with the money. They get to make the moves. Like if anybody was to be inclined to join the conference, it should be Notre Dame. They could really flip the NIL game. Being attached to a conference. And that's why you see what Alabama's doing. They're trying to legislate to set salary caps. A lot of college football commissioners are cool with the salary cap, because if a team like Miami or if a team like Notre Dame gets into a conference with no bars held, Miami's already kind of doing it. They're flexing their muscles in the portal with NIL. The moment Miami gets their own stadium and they up them facilities, they'll start flipping. Notre Dame, they already on task to be competitive. Add them to a conference and see how you can start seeing a lot of those interconference changes happen. Guarantee it. What's up, Nate? How you feeling today? Kareem Hood is in the house. Russell McDaniel, I see you, my guy. I see y'all. If y'all tapping in post live, y'all, please like and share the stream. Like I said, this will be edited to a VOD. This live will be here, but the VOD will be available for y'all to come back and interact with it too. But kind of diving into that conversation, man, we're going to actually create a VOD. That's our 30 minutes on that. We're going to create a VOD kind of outlining that so you can call into the line. As a matter of fact, you can call into the line now, 334-625. Give me your thoughts. Let me hear it. College football playoff expansion. What do you think? What do you think? How are you feeling about it? How are you feeling about it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a positive? Do you think it puts your powers to be in a better position? Or does it even the playing field a little bit even more? Right? Money is going to be there. We know it's going to attract a lot of eyes. The ratings are going to be there. The players are going to want to be on these teams. Like you got to think, man. I could look at the SEC right now, the 14 teams in the SEC, and I can guarantee you the top 8 teams in the SEC, there will be 8 teams in contention every year in the SEC for a college football playoff spot with 16 playoff teams and 4 automatic spots, 4 spots allotted for the SEC. And I think you kind of set it up to where with just knowing that it's only 4 spots for the SEC, only 4 spots for the Big 10, only 2 spots for the Big 12 and the ACC, only 1 spot for your non-group of 5, you know, and your what's the other groups? The baby 5 or whatever, the baby 4, whatever you want to call it. Knowing that you have to really win every game, you have to put your best product on the field. You don't get to take cupcake weeks off. And then, like, even how you strategize putting product on the field. Like, we saw Florida State get punished because their backup quarterbacks, by the committee standard, their backup quarterbacks weren't good enough to create a competitive game. So in these seasons, when you schedule a non-conference opponent, let's say, i.e. Alabama, Florida State, week 1, 2025. Let's say Alabama goes out and Keelan Russell is the starter. He goes out. Alabama's blowing Florida State out, a preseason team that's supposed to be turning it around. They're a respected program, blue blood, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a marquee game, highlight game of the season. Florida State's always going to be in contention preseason wise, as far as being in contention for the ACC title, right? You look at a game like that, Alabama comes in, creates a lot of separation. Then you get, you know, the second team in to finish the game, and the second team gets in, and let's say QB2, Austin Mack, Ty Simpson gets in and puts up another 18 points with their, you know, 9 minutes of garbage time or scores in general. Just the second team defense just continues to dominate. And then later in the season, you have an injury to a humming Alabama offense of player or the quarterback, and QB2 comes in and they barely win that game against a LSU or a Tennessee, right? And they barely win that game, and they finish the season undefeated like Florida State. They go and win the conference. Your automatic bid being a conference champ with your second string, that helps you. That helps you. And then if you're a team that's got a full and healthy team and you lose your one game, i.e. Texas, Georgia, or, you know, who else I see being Tennessee, you lose that conference championship game, you're not being punished for losing that one game, the actual game. You get what I'm saying? You're actually losing the game that matters because it's the actual playoff game. It's for your conference and it's a playoff game. So these games really have to mean something. And you do that by expanding the playoffs and formatting this way. So create some conversation around it. 334-625-1121. Say your name. Only a few things when you call it. Let me hear it cut real quick, y'all. Y'all get to get this live here in the last 20 minutes of our show. Let's do a take real quick. What's going on, AAA family? I'm your man, Smook Hines, here on the Coach Smook Network. Let me hear your thoughts. Today's topic, the college football playoff expansion. Is it good for college football? Is it good for the fans? Is it good for the players? Is it good for the programs? Your thoughts. 14 to 16 teams deciding who is the best of the best in our college football playoffs. You want to share your thoughts and be heard on the Coach Smook Network? Call in on the line. Say your name and put me in the game, Coach, and we'll hear your thoughts. The number, 334-625-1121. Let me hear it. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Catch you on the next one. All right, we'll cut that and we'll put that in the VOD when we post it. Let's talk. Question: do a NFL team not play the Super Bowl because their QB hurt or out? Nope. It's other reasons teams win other than the QB. Facts, Kareem. And that's why when Florida State got screwed because they were, told that they were second and third, as much as I trolled them and I thought I knew that they would not be a quality team, you can't allow them to miss the playoffs because they have an injured player. We saw the Eagles win with their backup quarterback with was it Nick Foles, and who was the quarterback before them? Carson Wentz, right? We saw the Eagles go and do it. We saw the Eagles do that a few years back. So that this playoff expansion makes every game matter, because now let's say you have a mid-season change, right? And you have a backup quarterback step in and really carry this team, and they're a 2-loss team, but they go and win the conference. They play well enough to not just win the conference, but they play well enough to be a top 4 seed, a top 4 team in their conference, and get in that 4-team playoff conference playoff conference championship playoff, right? Conference playoff tournament, whatever you want to call it. Win that game to get to the conference championship. Win that conference championship as a playoff game, and therefore continue to solidify themselves as a team that's, you get what I'm saying? Now there's no questions to who could have and what would have, right? We take all of that out the way with the SEC this year. If we have this similar format, we take that all the way, we remove it with the SEC. Definitely a great conversation to have. Zach, is that Zach? Zach in the building? What's good, my guy? John Reggie, when does spring practice start? Spring practice starts the second week in March. Exact date, I think it's that Tuesday is the first. The second week in March is the first practice. We got fourth quarter program coming. I got reports on that too. Trying to call in too? What you mean? The call-in line is, we're not doing a live call-in show. You can leave your thoughts on the voicemail. We're gonna cut it up and edit it. We're doing our live call-in show tonight at 7. I've been good, Zach. Good to see you back in here. This ain't Zach Willie. For everybody that think that's Zach Willie, that ain't Zach Willie. That ain't Zach Willie. Reggie in the house. Where Reggie been at? Oh, that's okay. What's up? Welcome back, Reggie. Greg Coffee is in the building. Y'all, we getting everybody tapping in. Y'all, we're done with our live cut. Well, not our live cut. We're done with our pre-recorded cut that we're going to post as a VOD. So our fan interaction is about to pick up as we dive into some other conversations from this past weekend, y'all. As you all know, man, huge game last week. We saw the Alabama Crimson Tide this past weekend. Alabama Crimson Tide took a loss to the Auburn Tigers at home in Coleman Coliseum. Alabama basketball showcasing their lack of experience, right? Lack of cohesiveness and experience, and just the inability to make shots in this game was a huge factor. Defensively, I wasn't too disappointed with how we made adjustments defensively, but we're going to get into that conversation. What were y'all thoughts in the chat? Give me some thoughts, live comments in the chat. Alabama basketball, for all my Alabama basketball fans in here. Yeah, I think the ringer is off. No, it should send you straight to voicemail. We got it set up. Let me see. Let me do this, y'all. It should give y'all, take y'all straight to voicemail. Yeah, I see. I got missed calls right now. It should just let you leave a voicemail. I see all the calls coming through. Go ahead and leave your voicemail. That Auburn game ran my blood pressure up. Eram, not me, man. I actually enjoyed it. It was come on, Bama Nation. I know we took the L, and I hate taking the L to Auburn. But if I'm gonna take a L, it's gonna definitely be to a quality team, and that Auburn team is a quality team. Johnny Broome wasn't even the one that hurt us this game. His scoring wasn't what hurt us. His rebounding and his play off the ball, the type of attention he demands, and his court vision, it took us too long to get keyed on it. But when we got keyed on it, it was kind of like the rest of the team had built their confidence. Everybody else around them had built their confidence up. So kind of diving into the conversation, let's look at the stat sheet, man. Kind of dive into the box score here. I got to get this screen set up the right way again too, y'all. Like I said, and look at what I said, man. I told y'all there was two names that I did not want to be effective in this game. And that was three names, and we held one of them. We forced the ball into one of their hands, and they kind of just shut up my whole narrative. That was Denver Jones was one of the guys, and then we talked about Ja'Kai Howard. You know, he didn't effectively come in and do what I'm glad he did do. But Tahad Pettiford came in and just racked off like two or three big shots quick. Went to the free throw line, And I mean, just made 2 or 3 big plays, and it kind of created that separation. And he did it twice, 2 big runs during the game. Auburn just played a complete game. I don't think Bruce Pearl outcoached Nate Oates. I saw a lot of fans crying, talking about we were outcoached. I don't think so. We had a lot of mental mistakes by our players. Yeah. I'm very tough on our men's team, y'all. I'm very tough on our men's team. More so on the fact because I think we're just one of the more talented teams. I think we're one of the more talented teams. Nate Oates and his staff have done a good job in recruiting to continue to get guys in the portal. All right, I had to retype that banner there. So I think this team, we give our team a lot of passes being fans, and we try to blame the refs. A lot of bad calls on both sides or non-calls on both sides. Let's not blame the refs. We just got outplayed by a good team. We're a good team, but they're a good team also. I see both of these teams making deep tournament runs. As long as everybody stays healthy, both of these teams make some good tournament runs. Now, diving into the Alabama box score. Before we get into the bad and negative, right? I want to highlight something, and everybody always goes to the points, but when they start talking about who's affecting the game, Chris Youngblood, Cliff Omonuri, Grant Nelson, those are my superlatives. Those are my guys that really played a quality game last game. Even LeBaron Filan. I think it's time to go ahead and allow this young man to get his opportunity to be the lead guard on this team. Give him an opportunity to start at point guard and create that tempo that this team needs. Mark Sears might benefit from coming off the bench and being your green light 6 man, kind of like Jamal Crawford built his career during his NBA career. You give Mark Sears off the bench, I think we get some quality scoring in that second group. I would even experiment with bringing him and Aiden Holloway off together, being that they run this kind of like 2-man. You can spread the floor out. You can ISO on each side of the floor. You can balance the floor out with your ISO actions. You got quality scores, but where they fail at and where we saw it the other day, and I don't think it's more so Mark Sears' fault. I think it was a lack of consistency on the officiating. But Aiden Holloway perimeter defense is almost non-existent when he's in the game, and you can kind of balance it when what he gives you on offense. But then in a game like that against Auburn, where he couples it with a few bad turnovers or almost near turnovers, right? Those are momentum shifting type of plays, runs where you need quality execution, and he's not providing it. You look at him, he had 2 turnovers the other night. The team didn't have double-digit turnovers, but if you look at where the turnovers came at, one came when we had an opportunity to go up by 2, right? One came, we had an opportunity to go up, change the lead the first time, right? After we had made the first comeback from 11 down. And then the second time was an opportunity for us to go up by 3. We were up by 1. We had a chance to go up by 3 and just kind of seize the momentum. Decision making was kind of shaky in the tight spots in the hype moments of the game. I laughed at it, but I went back and I watched it. And Grant Nelson with his I believe I could fly attempt. It was an awesome and energetic attempt. But we need that easy layup. We need that momentum. We're at home. The crowd is into it. Every opportunity we had to seize the momentum, we just couldn't do it. But I was glad to see that we did not find ourselves in the double-digit turnover ranking, double-digit turnover numbers. And then the free throw percentage, guys, 74%. The volume, 35 free throws is awesome. When you're sitting there at 75, close to 80% clip, under 40 attempts, you're putting yourself in good position to stay in the game. Recent games, y'all know last week we talked about how the team got to the line and only shot 28 attempts, but only hit 13. We can't have that. Even if it is our big men, we got to get those shots up on the from the free throw line in practice. Get guys used to their motion, their shooting motion, calming down, gathering their senses together and following through with their free throws and tighten it up, man. We got to keep that clip. But once again, struggle from the 3, live and die by the 3. 5 of 26. That is nowhere near the clip of a successful team that's going to shoot 20. Like I said, we shoot anywhere from 22 to 26 threes a game on average, right? 22 to 26 threes a game. You got to be hitting it at a clip. You got to be hitting at least 13 to keep yourself in the game. We talked about this before the game. If you're hitting 13 threes, what's 13 times 3? That's 39 points. That's 39 points you're accounting for. You get 10, that's 30 points. You look at this game. Add 6 more threes to this game. 6 times 3 is 18. You get 18 more points. You know, you win this game by what? 5? You win this game by 3. Or 4. What is it? 13. So you win this game by 4. Because Auburn was hitting their shots. Auburn was hitting their threes. Quality threes. We were getting quality shots. We just weren't hitting them. So before we go off and panic and say that we don't have a good team and that, you know, we just played trash or it was on the rest, just got to hit shots. And that's an easy thing to do. You get in the gym, get the reps, and this team is going to be better. But overall, I think we start transitioning to letting the LeBaron Fowler have a lot more intricate minutes, especially at the ball handling role. He gets the tempo up. You got guys like Cliff Omanyuri. You got Muhammad Diabate getting out there, getting quality minutes. All those guys, they're not guys I want the ball in their hands to create offense, but they create good off-ball movement. They create the hustle plays when the ball is moving. When guys like Chris Youngblood are being decisive and putting up quality shots, may miss them, but they're quality shots that can create second chance points. When young guys like Darian Reed come in and they may be a step behind, but when they rebound and capitalize, you got guys that are giving them opportunities to put the ball back in the rim. Aiden Holloway and Mark Sears have to be a lot more decisive and mature in their decision making on the floor. Aiden Holloway, you know, being a sophomore, I think as much as he played last year at Auburn, I think he came into this game a little nervous. Saw a few uncharacteristic plays, made a few big shots, right? A few big plays, but was a lot of uncharacteristic plays early in his during his minutes. Want to see Mark Sears be a lot more efficient, guys. Want to see him be a lot more composed, attacking the rim. That flailing is starting to become a issue for me, and I love Mark Sears. Mark Sears' muscle shows Alabama's finest. We hold him to the highest standard. He knows what it means to put on for the state, put on for the school. That flailing, you can't ask for the cause. If they not give you the cause, you got to go through it. You got to fight through it. Finish at the rim, not away from the rim. And we got to just get back to playing blue collar basketball. At the end of the day, blue collar basketball for 48 minutes or for 40 minutes, however many minutes it is, 2 20-minute halves. So for 40 minutes, we got to be able to play blue collar basketball at a high rate. Our tempo has to be there. We got to be able to control the ball in the half court sets. We are not a half court set team. So when we get forced into that 43% half court set offense, right, where they're coming and they're getting back in transition and slowing us down 43% of the time, we got to be executing at a high clip. And our team just hasn't done it yet this season. So we'll see how this thing plays out the rest of the season. Alabama basketball next up. I think we got the men have Texas A&M. The women have A&M tonight. Where's my mouse at on this screen? Who the man got next, y'all? Is it LSU or A&M? I know the women have A&M tonight. I can't wait to watch that game. It's on SEC Network. We'll be tuned in. Cheering our ladies. Oh, we got Missouri next on the 19th. So that's Wednesday. We got Missouri on the 19th. Another top 25 ranked team from the SEC. Like I said, this gauntlet, this schedule to finish out the season for the men is going to be an interesting one. We got 6 more games left. Missouri 15, Kentucky 17, Mississippi State 21, Tennessee 2, Florida number 2, Tennessee number 6, Florida number 2, and Auburn number 1. Alabama, the SEC, not just Alabama, but the SEC coming in with quality opponents. You saw the graphic last week. SEC men's basketball has an opportunity to have, I think, 8 teams in the in the March Madness, in the postseason tournament. So it's gonna be crazy. Final finish to this season. How many home games we got? 1, 2, 3. 3 home games, 3 away games to finish the season. Last game of the season against these dirty War Tigers, whatever they want to be today. Last but not least, let's dive into this conversation about our women's team. Jumping into it, ESPN, of course, has the write-up with the game preview. We just want to dive through the article a little bit. Kicking off tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Texas A&M at home. We're at home. Alabama at home against Texas A&M. Alabama women 20-5, 7-4 in SEC play. Texas A&M 10-13, 3-8 in conference play. Do we got the graphic? Yes, we do. Let's share this on the stage. Boom. Wrong page, Donnie. Here we go. Let's go to this one. I think we could probably see it better this way. All right, so looking at the line is Texas A&M. They've been struggling, as you all can see. They say the Crimson Tide are 10-2 in home games. Alabama has a 16-5 record against teams over 500. The Aggies are 3-8 against SEC opponents. Texas A&M ranks with 9th in the SEC with 10.9 offensive rebounds per game, led by Sahara Jones, averaging 2.6. This is now when we talk about our women's team, y'all know I'm a proud supporter of the Shoot That Thing gang. All my ladies on that team, Aaliyah Nye, Sarah Ashley Barker, Zay Green, even our big lady, our big man Essence Cody and Janae Cunningham have been stretching out to the perimeter. Got Diana Collins coming off the bench, giving us quality minutes, getting a lot more confident in her perimeter shot. Carly Weathers. The team is full of options to just that fit perfectly to create some quality offense. Alabama's 3-point shot making, both men's and women's, when we're hitting, it's we got 2 dangerous teams. We got a dangerous team. The same is for the women. Like Aaliyah Nye, when she is on, she is on. Sarah Ashley Barker can create perimeter shots. She'll shoot off the dribble. Zay Green, same thing. Your spot up shooters, Carly Weathers and Diana Collins, how they benefit from, learning how to work the perimeter and play off the ball. This team is coming together. Coming against Texas A&M at home, this could be an ugly game. No disrespect to Texas A&M. I just think our ladies are locked in, especially after having a week off. You got some players that's all the way healthy now. Alabama Crimson Tide women's team, the Lady Crimson Tide, I think they're going to run away with this one. I could see this game, especially if we get in our early tempo. You get some of your bench players comfortable and active, scoring early, getting those stops, getting into the half-court sets. Essence Cody probably going to have a big game in the paint as far as being on the boards. I could see her having anywhere from 12 to 14 total rebounds this game, 2 or 3 blocks. Her and Gianna Cunningham, locking down the paint. I think this could be a crazy game. I could see players like Diana Collins and Ayers Lester who get kind of like those stretch green light minutes where they come in and they're assertive on the offensive end, right? And they're kind of your rabbits that you send to chase the ball on defense. A game like this, A&M doesn't really have quality ball handlers past their starting guard. I see a game like this where you get a lot of fast break points, you get a lot of fast break opportunities to kick out to the perimeter, finish with momentum changing drives. I could see Alabama running away with this game 81, 62-ish, 59-ish. Alabama Crimson Tide. That's just how I see it. That's just how Coach Smook see it. But that's what we got. So we'll be tuning into that tonight. We'll be here to get y'all thoughts on it, post-game thoughts and post-game calling show to kind of discuss our topic of the day. Topic of the day, college football playoff expansion. Is it good for college football? Y'all remember? Is it good for college football? Let me type that up for y'all. Topic of the day. We're going to scroll that at the bottom so y'all can know the topic of the day. Call in. Leave your thoughts. I'm sorry, y'all. My throat itching a little bit. Pause. Allergies. There y'all go. Topic of the day. Right at the bottom of the screen. Let's get this one off the screen here. Coach Smook, let me hear it. Let me hear y'all. 334-625-1121. Call and share your thoughts. College football playoff expansion. And again, if you want to tweet, I retweeted it on my page, I believe. I retweeted it on my page. And Yahoo Sports college football reporter, senior college football reporter, Ross Dellinger. Dellinger was the first to release the article. It's on Yahoo Sports if y'all want to go check it out. And once again, y'all, thank y'all for being here. That's the show. We've hit our hour. We're going to use our news, like I said, to kind of have a few conversations, updates on our Bama football or basketball, Bama sports. Oh, Bama baseball going crazy. We're going to tap into that, get our reactions from that from this past weekend. I've been following them. I actually got 3 players that I'm. God has really been awesome. We're making moves, y'all. I'm gonna keep moving in silence. A lot of people thought we was dying off. We're moving a little bit more quieter. But thank y'all for tapping in. And shout out to my I don't want to call her the personal assistant, but she's kind of become like the eyes and the ears of the community. Shout out to Mary J. Her message today was on time because I put out a schedule last week of when I would be doing my lives. And last week, because of the commitment I made, I had to stick to my commitment as far as getting my mental ready. And it fell in line. I mean, it kind of crossed with some other things. So this past week, some things happened with my family that kind of pulled me away from the content full time and kind of made me readjust, which was a great opportunity. And that readjustment set me up for what you all are about to receive this week as far as the content, the collabs that we're going to be doing. Y'all will see me live on a few other channels this week. Just collabing with some of the family. We got some Instagram things. Make sure y'all tapped in on all the platforms at Coach Smook. Make sure y'all go follow me on all platforms at Coach Smook. Y'all never know what platform I'm gonna be live on next. Y'all never know. So the best way to stay tight is to take flight and hit that like with your boy. I'm trying to get y'all bars. I ain't even go cap. And don't forget, y'all, we got our new video coming tonight. Our new how to join the AAA family. That'll be featured tonight. I think y'all gonna like the idea and the concept behind it. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait to get tapped back in with y'all. And if you haven't already, go follow on all socials. At Coach Smook. I'm excited, y'all. I'm glad that you all have been here to support and watch this thing continue to grow. And we're almost at 2.9K already. 2.9K, still pushing the 3K. We got 11 days to get to that 4K mark, right? And we're not giving up on the 4K mark. We're not giving up on the 4K goal. A lot of people might think it's impossible, but I think anything can happen as long as we stick to what we're doing and stay locked in. We're gonna be in a good spot. We're gonna be in a good spot here at the Coach Smook Network. So tapping in with the chat. Let me see closing out. Let me see who in here. I've seen some more people tap in. Let me see. We got some more people. Kareem pulled up. Men have Missouri. What? Men have Missouri. What you talking about, Greg? We have the toughest remaining schedule in the nation. 100%. All of our opponents are ranked. That's crazy. Alabama will not return to your glory days without Nick saying Ryan Day is your father. Oh man, great to see everybody pulling up facts, Mary J. Great to see everybody tapping in. My guy Cy McGaddy with Yon Apparel. Y'all make sure y'all gonna see it. I ain't gonna keep popping it, without the graphics, but I got just all the promo. We got sponsors, guys. We got partners. The stuff that we are going to unveil on the coming shows. It's only God. It's only God. So to close the show here, the last 2 minutes of this show, I just want to say thank you all for being here, for being a part of the Coach Smook Network, supporting. words of encouragement. You all just kind of heard me allude to just working in silence, kind of just, moving in silence. In this industry, it is no such thing as moving in silence. You have to be vocal, you have to be seen. But as far as what we're doing behind the scenes to provide a platform for, our amateur athletes and their exposure, and also our semi-pro athletes now with, these relationships we're creating with these collegiate athletes. This is an opportunity, guys, for you all to really witness what God is doing, not just in my life, but what he's doing in this society. I want to encourage you all, there will be changes in your life that will cause you to be uncomfortable. But the sooner you are able to showcase that you're comfortable with adjusting and being uncomfortable and making uncomfortable situations comfortable, and then having the control to create your own uncomfortable situation, knowing that this is an opportunity for growth for you and whatever's attached to you, not just for you, but for whatever is attached to you, because that's what makes a difference between some of us and them. We don't just grow for ourselves. We want to grow so that we can affect everybody that's around us. We can impact everyone that's around us. So when you look at yourself and you're being challenged and you're in an uncomfortable space, embrace it. You're going to live through it. You're going to live through it. You're going to get through it. You may not get the results or the outcome that you want, but stay dedicated to it and finding out the best way to create a productive result. Trust God. If you're a praying person, believe, pray, put all your faith in God, allow him to work it for you. Do your part by trusting him, and open your mind up, open your heart up to be led, and watch how much of a difference it'll make. I hope today's show was entertaining. If you're tapping in on the post show live, if you're not catching it live, you're tapping in on post stream. Make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you leave a comment, share the content. Let everybody know that you're enjoying the content here on the Coach Smook Network. With that being said, y'all, once again, I love y'all. I'm Smook Hines here on the Coach Smook Network. And when you see me in the streets, holla at me and say, put me in the game, coach. I'll catch y'all on the next one. We'll be here live tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I love you all. Be blessed.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holla at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Where are the diamonds, Seafood?